Hello viewers and welcome. A long time ago, in a galaxy far away, I bought this game and I never played it. It was on super sale. It was like $16 or something, ridiculous sale, and I was like, okay, I'm not stupid. I'll pay $16 for a game I've heard amazing things about. It's all GT3, so if you love racing GT3 cars, and I do, then I figured, you know what, I better give this thing a good shakedown. So I've been in, as you can see, I have a career at 15%, which is to say that I got through all the licensing and the practice and here's how the game works, which is pretty cool. One of the things I can honestly say is my favorite part of this whole damn game. This. Okay, I can literally have everything on my wheel working. In one of my other videos, I talked about how I need more buttons. I have 100 buttons on this thing, apparently. There aren't actually, but there is... Well, I'll give you an example. These, you set ABS to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Back to 1. Well, my traction control can be done as well. Tick, 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 tick. What would you like? It suddenly you want it from 1 to 8, you go like that. Right? So cool. Because I'm like a ridiculous super geek. Let's take that off. That's fine. Turn my windshield wipers on in the middle of a race when I'm trying to change views or something. God. What the hell is button 9? Fanatec wheel doesn't have 106. Or does it? No. I've made it to the first race weekend. So, let us resume. Alright, here we go for our 5-minute practice session. Gives you about 2 laps plus your out lap. Me trying not to wreck the car, getting out of the pits, which would of course not be conducive of a good lap. And being also careful not to cross the white line coming out of the pits, because that's probably going to get me in trouble. Now, I've done a few laps on this track prior to this, but I'm still learning all the little nuances, as you can see. But this was a good test, because in Gran Turismo 7, for example, with the new physics update, the tires change drastically when you touch grass. If you're on the grass for any length of time, you're going to have no traction for a while. It's crazy. So I thought, you know what, that's an interesting one. The one on the grass, it didn't really seem to make too much of a difference. This was a better test. Spin out both directions on the grass. Do a little more on the grass. So my tires are probably a big mess right now, right? Let's test it. What's the difference between ACC and Gran Turismo in terms of your traction after you've touched grass? And in this game, I have to say it is significantly more accurate. It feels like there's a little bit less grip there. You got to be a bit more careful, but you didn't suddenly have your tires turn into liquid molten rubber. Coming through the chicane, I thought, you know what, let's test this a little more. Let's try gravel. Now, it wasn't a whole lot of time on the gravel, but gravel nonetheless. And same thing, you get a little bit less traction, but it's not a huge amount. It's just something you got to be a bit more careful with, that's all. And I was behind this guy, this is practice, and I'm just trying to get by. So I'm like, dude, thank you. And that would be that. Sitting P8, but neither of my laps was all that great. I got stuck behind the white car at one point. I spun out on the other lap. It was just a mess. Good practice session. So here, I want to show you this really cool building. I think it's a cement factory. Oh, I hope I got ghosted. Right there. Honestly, I think that it should be the location for the filming of the new Batman movie. So here we are, qualifying 1. From what I understand, you have 2 drivers, so you have 2 qualifyings and 2 races. But you have to switch drivers during the pit stop for each of the races, so interesting format. Down in the second gear for this one, and then back on the gas. It opens right up here, and you can obviously use all the curb. I kind of got a little oversteer, so I had to let off the gas. That's all full throttle, though, if you do it right. Down into third. Get this apex back on the gas. Cars are handling absolutely beautifully. The physics in this game is extraordinary. Braking just after the 100 board for this one. You want to make sure you don't hit too much of that curb, because it bounces you into the second one. And it makes a hell of a mess. Starting on the right a little bit, swing it over to the left, and then on the brakes, get it down to first gear for that apex, and then this one, and then accelerate out of here. Don't go wide like I did. And if you do it right, that is actually full throttle as well. I managed to once or twice, I think. Braking just before the 100 board on that one. Get the car rotated and back on the gas. It's actually quite stable coming out of these corners, so you can get on the gas with a little bit of confidence. Your back end's not going to suddenly become the front end. This one braking just after the 100 board. Down into first. And then accelerate out of here because this is the long pit straight. And pulled in a 137.6, which is good enough for pole for the first race. Well, all right then. Into qualifying 2. The end of my first lap. 138.7. Not very good. And my second lap, a 136.4. Significantly better. I was pretty happy with that. So here we are for the first race. Rolling start, me on pole, so I get to start the parade. And of course you got the equivalent of a pit limiter on. Finally get things going. Lambos all over the place in this race. Apparently it is the meta car, at least at this level. Managed to stay ahead in the first corner. Into the second one, down from third to second. Bringing around. I missed the apex, but not the end of the world. It's a fairly wide part of a track. All full throttle all the way through to here. And down to third, hit this apex. Back on the gas. Don't want to go on the gravel, but there's a fair bit of runoff area there. Braking just after the 100 board, about 95-ish, and then around. Make sure you don't hit those curbs. I did a lot. I hit them a lot. It is what it is. Still getting used to the track. This one, you gotta be careful you don't go too late before you hit the brakes because that corner comes up quick. Come out of here. Use this curb to get the angle on this turn. And if you do it right, as I mentioned, it's full throttle. Down the hill to the hairpin, braking just before the 100 board. Bring the car around and back on the gas. You don't want to be running straight over the curb. It's tempting because you can just go straight over the curb like that, but you actually bounce so much you lose acceleration and it costs you time. So again, braking just after the 100 board, down to first. I missed that apex completely. I got away with it though. Into lap 1. So each race is 20 minutes with a pit stop at the halfway point. And my goal basically was just to stay ahead. Not make any major mistakes. I have to say, this game, as I mentioned, the physics are outstanding. The realism in this is so good. In the second race, I kind of forgot to talk much because I was just so focused on the race and not making any mistakes and just really, really into the game and into the race. That one, yeah, that's what happens when you hit the first one. It's bouncy. Bring it around to the left and on the brakes. Do not use shadows in this game for braking points because they absolutely move and change. You cannot rely on them. Still have not yet gone through their full throttle. It's all a matter of bringing it around to the right to really get on that one apex. Down through the gears to the hairpin. And down the straight, braking again just after the 100 board. Tires are fine, brakes are all warmed up, everything's all good at this point. And I got fastest lap of the session. What's wrong with that? And fast forwarding to lap 5. There we go. Pit window is now open. So in I go. Now, I don't know where the pit limit actually starts. Comes up on the screen, 31 miles per hour, enable pit limiter. I'm like, oh my god, okay, so I turn it on. Like a bit of an idiot. This is all as fast as you want. It's not actually slow until you get to here. So, now I know that. One of the really cool things about this game is you actually have to do this driving yourself. You have to engage the pit limiter yourself. And you have to park your car in your pit box properly yourself. And I love that. I love the realism of that. If you make a mistake on this and it takes you a while to get into your pit box, well then you lose time. That's fair. Coming out of the pits, try not to smash the car off the walls. Going as quick as I can because I do want to stay ahead of my competition. And I have. No problem whatsoever. And that is that. Pole position to the win. Plus pole position and top qualifier for qualifying in the top 3. And professionalism for not skipping any steps. Check out the guy on the right. The token clap. Uh-huh. Whatever. Dude over here is not happy. Well, folks, thank you so very much for watching. If you liked the video, please click the like button. If you're not subscribed, please get yourself subscribed. That was the first race. There is a second race. It's coming up at the end of my little speech here. All 20 minutes. No commentating. Just mixed it up as best I could on board and off board. I hope you enjoy and have yourselves an awesome day. Peace. It's super quiet for the whole race. still turning. I decided to give her a bunch of bananas. That's right. Dude over here is like, whatever, bitches.